Hey folks, Trav here. I just wanted to let you know that on September 27th and 28th, the Polymedia Network will be hosting our annual charity stream event this year to benefit Doctors Without Borders. So, on 11 a.m. Sunday, September 28th, that's Eastern Time, Dylan and I will get together to do a live We Got Goosebumps of a Give Yourself Goosebumps book where donations will shape the way our story unfolds. You can tune into that at twitch.tv/Polymedia Network, and we hope to see you there. Now, enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to the landmark horror series for children, written by R.L. Stine back in the 90s. I'm a slobbering werewolf and I rescue, quote unquote, kids. Not fucker! You got me! You finally got. Well, I'm playing a character, so that's okay.
Yes.
Trapped in the mud. Dylan.
And I'm this movie's director. You can count on me to be plugged in to every scene. I am Travis.
That is an atrocious pun. I wish I'd read yours before I let us go live. Today we're talking about number 35 in the series, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes.
Nope,
no, we're
sorry.
not.
Boy, I didn't.
God damn it. As I was reading that, I was like, that's not right. And then I was thinking like, well, it's too late. We can't do anything about it because this is live. And so I was just like, we're going to roll with it. And we're going to talk about lawn gnomes this week again. Jesus Christ. Today we have number 35 in the series, A Shocker on Shock Street, which was released in September of 1995, which I'm assuming was boiling, because August of 2025 is boiling, so I'm assuming 30 years ago was also boiling hot.
Yeah, looking back in September of 1995, notable events included the publication of the Unabomber Manifesto in the New York Times and the Washington Post. Also, Cal Ripken Jr. broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played record. Also, the PlayStation was released in the U.S. What a big month!
Wow, so two things happen at times I was just talking to Pam about this, how we're just like, PlayStation is way earlier than I always think PlayStation was like 98 for some reason. Not true. And I always think the Unabomber was from the 70s. That's also not true. It's like, which is even weirder because I've seen Will Ferrell play the Unabomber, and I guess I just assumed SNL was 30 years out of date.
Well, they do make some old jokes on there.
That is true, but these seem pretty topical at the time. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I was just going to say, speaking of the Unabomber, we got a big one dropped on us here today, and I didn't read this one as a kid, but I was painfully aware of it all the time. I feel like this book, I would see it everywhere. This was like the Goosebumps book that would just follow me around. I always saw it, but I never read it, and I'm sad that I didn't because it's very good. I really like this one.
This one, we talked about it a little bit before we started recording, but I got about 5 chapters into the book, got to a line, and was like, nope, I know the twist for this one. And we'll talk about when we get there. But this is one I did definitely read a lot as a kid. I have a feeling a couple of things hit me exactly the same as an adult, which is, and we'll get into it, but I'm really pissed off that there is no Shocker on Shock Street movie series that's just about this fucking weird-ass town with a bunch of scary-ass monsters. Why aren't there a series of movies about something like that?
I know.
Like, that would be so cool, right?
As they were describing it, I was like, what is this an analog for? Is this just like, 80s Godzilla? Like, it seems cool.
I feel like R.L. Stine was pitching. This was him pitching an idea for a movie series. He's just like, well, cool, like, because now this is around the time when the Goosebumps TV show came out, I feel like. So he's making his contacts in Hollywood. So he's just like, I need to start putting out all these ideas in the books that could turn into a franchise. Anyway, but the whole time, I remember as a kid being like, oh, that would be so cool. I wish these monsters were real things that I could see.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And it's interesting, as we get into the covers here, what they chose for the cover Just because I feel like, I mean, this, that it's a memorable part of the story, but I wouldn't say it's the creepiest part of the story, for sure. So it's interesting.
Plus, it's wildly inaccurate in at least 2 of the versions.
For sure. We'll get into it. Shall we get into it, actually?
We should get into it, I feel like. Covers are great.
Oh, I love the covers. Lead off here. We got a base hit with Jacobus. I like the detail down the street. You can see what's probably a school off to the right, some houses, some buildings, and one little rinky-dink street light getting mildly groped by an enormous metallic praying mantis. It looks like it's hissing at us, and it's stomping a car to death. And you got Shock Street there on the street sign, a big hazy, orange, fiery sky above. It pops. Definitely pops. Compositionally, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it suffers from the problem I have with any large monster movie, which is I do not consider them horror movies or scary. Like, I've never thought of a Godzilla movie or any giant bug movie as scary. Those are always just like, no, I'm not worried about this shit happening at all because that's stupid.
Right.
You're just watching it to see buildings get destroyed and shit like that. But I've never thought of those things as scary. Like, I never watched Them or Beginning of the End, which are 2 movies. Well, one's about giant grasshoppers, Beginning of the End. And Them is about giant ants, obviously. But those weren't scary.
You may be able to get me if you do a bunch of spiders, but the bigger you make them, the dumber they look.
Spiders. Yeah. And I was looking at, and the thing that bothers me, I finally realized while you were talking, is the eyes. The pupils are a little goofy. Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know. A bug with pupils, it makes it look a little cartoony because it's got the big,
yeah, I can see that.
The big white thing. But it's funny. I was thinking, like, praying mantises should have compound eyes. If you actually pull up a picture of a praying mantis, they do look like they have pupils. Like little black pupils.
Let me look it up here.
Hold on. I'll post you a picture over here. I just looked it up because I was like, I have a feeling I'm about to get made fun of.
Yeah, he nailed it, didn't he? God damn it. All right, well.
Yep. So it's perfect. That being said, the pupils do make it look a little goofy, and I feel like the artist who did the 2003 reissue realized that. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really do it that much for me.
I also like it, but I don't think
it's hard to tell that it's crushing the car.
It does.
Like, the car seems like it's too far.
I agree. Yeah, I like it. The colors catch my eye, and I think when I see this, I go, "Oh, that looks neat," but I'm not blown away by it. But
also, it's a little weird that all of his legs are up on one side. Like, I feel like he should have.
Yeah, is the ground lava? He's not even touching the ground.
Yeah, he's only got one. No, he isn't touching the ground.
No, that's the sign.
That's a street sign. Yeah,
interesting.
He's got 1 foot on the car, and the rest of him is just. Maybe he's jumping at the camera. Maybe. Like that. He's airborne.
Oh, that could be it. Maybe he's airborne. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you look over at Brandon Dorman. I get this 2015 Brandon Dorman. I like it a lot. And if it weren't for the fucking words all over the cover, I think it would be really good. But I really like this one. This has a good sense of scale. You really feel like it's on top of you. You got the big praying mantis. It's also got jaggedy, almost looks like Master Shredder or something. It's got extra serrated edges around it. It's drooling that ick, and they took out the pupils. To I'm sure you were pleased about that. Better looking car squish in this one. We got a modern sign tilted over. I don't know. I think it's just it's a good upgrade. I think it's maybe
no. I think this
better.
This is a good second take on the concept.
Rarely.
Although still wildly inaccurate because the praying mantises are in a cave underground. They're not running around on the street. But it's fine. It's fine. I will say it's important. When we watched the Goosebumps movie, and I'm thinking about the movie because across the top of this it says, now a major motion picture, Goosebumps. In the movie, there's a little bit of consternation from the fans who said, the praying mantises looked like living praying mantises in the movie and not like robots. which they were supposed to be. They're supposed to be robots. But if you read this book, even though they're robots, they're realistic-looking praying mantises. So the Goosebumps movie actually played it the right way. So take that.
Yeah, take that. You dimwits. Get them. Yeah, I don't remember any of that from the movie. I'll need to rewatch that. The more books I read, the more I'm like, I should go back and
rewatch the movie.
Catch more references. That's why I have a bunch of Goosebumps video games, but I don't want to play them until I know I can get all the references.
That's a good point.
Anyway, what are the French up to? Well, Dylan, I can't wait for you to see it. I want to see your reaction here live.
Oh.
Yep. Don't you want to pet it and say that's a good boy? That's a good crab.
That is a lobster.
A lobster. Yeah. I don't know. Do they not have praying manti over in France?
It does look friendly, too.
He does. He looks kind of fun.
Is this a photograph? This looks like a drawing of a very friendly giant lobsterman visiting an actual French town. Also, that's an El Camino. That is definitely an El Camino.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I guess that is. Yeah, I guess they took like a photograph, filtered it, and then...
And drew over it. They probably drew. Yeah.
I mean, that's not a praying mantis. What were they going for here? I don't remember anything like that.
I don't know.
But it's got
Do they not have praying mantises in Europe? No, actually, if I look at the picture that I sent you, it's specifically labeled Mantis European. So they have them. So they're definitely... This is just... They just went crazy.
Yeah.
La Rue Maudite.
It just playing the peekaboo over the top of the buildings. Because, I mean...
And he looks like he's smiling. He's just like, hey, everybody. Hey. That's his voice, too. That's definitely...
Hey, do you guys know where I can find La Rue Maudite? Oh, I'm here. That's great. My hotel. I think it's... Thank you so much. You've been a great help. I'm gonna... I'll see you around town, maybe. Bonjour. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not even the right word. Oh, you know what I mean.
That's him.
That was perfect. It is him. He looks so goofy and playful. I love him. And not to be outdone, the Koreans show up and they I don't know what they did here, Dylan. What am I looking at here? They got
smiling. Oh God! It's like if a praying mantis was like,
Mantis?
"All right, smile for the camera," and it's just like, and it's like, "Okay, you can stop smiling for the camera."
Yeah, one of the few that I don't feel like they put a lot of effort into. They were like, "Yeah, whatever, big bug, fuck it, all right, ship it, put the splooge on top, let's go."
Oh, it's such a small image too. I wish it was larger because it's madness. This is madness.
I know.
Travis.
I know. It's wild. I hate to
smile.
say it. Oh. I hate to say that. I feel like almost 2 episodes in a row here I've gone with Dorman. I feel like Dorman's been crushing it. And I hate to say that. Jacobus is my hero. And the Koreans always, I love them. But this is just, what is this? Yikes.
It's so happy, but terrifying. I do like that it's still scary, I guess. I mean, that's like, this is like you knock on the door and it's Jehovah's Witness and smile. Like that's the kind of smile you're getting. You're like, oh, have you heard about our Lord and Savior? And you're like, oh, yes, come and tell us about the Lord and Savior. Just don't eat my children or me. Oh, God damn. It's so... I think that it's the combination of, like, they did a job of trying to make it look very realistic. Like, it's got, like, modeled claw armor and stuff. And then it's that smile. Just like, ugh. All right, let's move on. It's scaring me a little bit.
Woo. Yeah, it's something. I got to give it to Dorman. I think he's taking
Dorman.
the cake.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. Like because Dorman was my cover because that's what I've been reading the electronic books, and so they often have the 2003 covers or whatever covers. 2015 cover in this cover case.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy them, even not seeing them in color because they're always black and white. But
well, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, a little bit of plot. Never hurt anybody, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
Chapter 1. We begin our tale in New England in the 19th century. Call me Ishmael.
Wouldn't it be great if I just started my Moby Dick podcast and you're like, please, Dylan? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not joking. I love Melville. So let's do this. So we start off. I feel like this is the second book in a row that we start off with two little chonkers. Because we got Erin and we got Marty. And I swear to God, I'm sorry now for the number of times I'm going to go like, Marty! But that's going to happen.
You made a good point. The kids are getting fatter. The kids are getting fatter every book. I never even think about that.
Plumper, rounder, more delicious probably. Like roasted dumplings.
Stumpers?
So I'm not saying dumpers anymore.
Well, we got good feedback on that. That hit the test audience great. They liked it.
Oh, that's true. At one point, Pam was playing a video game and listening to that episode, and then she just started cackling, and it was because I had just said dumper.
Yep.
That
was good.
When we hear stuff like that, I'm like, I don't remember saying that, and I'm terrified all of a sudden. Because, like, people don't understand, even no matter how many times we tell them, it's been months since we recorded that particular episode, and I had no idea what you're talking about. We need more context. You can't just throw a joke at us and be like, oh, that was funny. Like, sure.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it was funny and not worse.
And not offensive. So we got these two little fat kids.
We're only a month separated from our releases now, so we're good.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's weird. It's like one of us didn't disappear for 6 months. So Marty and Erin, they're exploring a dark and stormy area, and it's pretty spooky. It's real spooky. Marty's pretty scared. He's holding on to Erin. Erin's a girl, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there. Erin name can go either way. This is an Aaron Rodgers. This is like Erin Brockovich.
Yeah.
That's the only female Erin I could. Well, there's also I went to a high school with a girl named Erin.
There you go.
But I don't think that's going to help you guys out.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah.
If I mention her name. Oh, you do? Okay. Erin's scared too, but she's just like, Marty's a piece of shit. I'm glad that he's scared for once. Yay. They see a dim gray light up ahead, and there's a faded wooded fence, and it's got a sign on it. It's like, danger. Keep out. This means you. There's some strange noises, like a scraping sound, like maybe claws behind the fence. Erin's just like, I need to run. I need to get the fuck out of here. But she decides she's gonna play it cool to avoid being teased by Marty. Sound gets louder. Turning into a banging sound. Clearly something's getting busy. There's some loud crashing. They start walking quicker, trying to get around this fence, get away from it, but the noises are following them. Now, shit's about to get real, guys. I took a deep breath! No, okay, we're not gonna do that. That's Erin's voice, by the way, everyone, so imagine that. Because I can't do that for the whole episode, though. On the screen. I took a deep breath! Marty gripped my arm harder! Our mouths, they gasped open. Ah. I took a deep breath. Marty gripped my arm harder. Our mouths gaped open. To our horror, the fence began to shake. The whole street shook. The rain puddles splashed against the curb. The footsteps thundered closer. Marty! I gasped in a choked whisper. Before I could say another word, the fence crumbled to the ground and the monster came bursting out. It had a head like a wolf, snapping jaws of gleaming white teeth, and a body like a giant crab. It swung 4 huge claws in front of it, clicking them at us, and its snout pulled open in a throaty growl. No! Marty and I both let out howls of terror. We jumped to our feet, but there was nowhere to run. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Chapter 1 over.
Shocker. Erin and Marty are watching a scary movie. In a theater.
You know what I was thinking the last couple of books? Sorry to interrupt immediately, but whatever.
Fuck me. What do you got?
We haven't had a dream sequence in like months.
True. That is true.
Both in real time and also podcast time. I feel it's been decades since we had a dream sequence.
It's a good point, yeah. I realize he's pretty good about like sprinkling out his tricks over the course of books, except the dummy and the gnomes were a little too close. But normally his gimmicks are pretty spread out. But yeah, you're right, no dream sequences here. But yeah, they're in the theater. They're watching Shocker on Shock Street 6. and they scream appropriately during a terrifying scene where the wolf crab monster, which maybe the wolf crab monster is as far into the book as the French artist got, but the wolf.
Oh, yeah,
that's what it is. Because if you look at the face, I told you it looked like a good boy. It looks like a wolf.
That's true. Oh boy.
Yeah, they didn't get very far into the book, and they were like, "Let's come into the drawing." Well, they scream during that scene with a big wolf crab monster, and only to realize they're actually in a movie theater. Then they get embarrassed because they scramped, some say. And they had stood up. They were freaking out. The audience shushes them, and then they sit back down. And on screen, the wolf crab chases a boy on a tricycle down the street, and he eventually catches the boy and snaps him with his big wolf crab monster claws.
Because Arlstein loves killing children, and if he can get a kill in, he will.
Yeah, he had to make it purposefully fictional to get by with it, but he got a kid. And
brutally scissored in half with claws too.
Man, just the best. I'm sure he cackled all the way to the Scholastic offices with that one. And and the movie's ending. The wolf crab is actually the village takes over and beats down the wolf crab, and they boil it and serve the crab as dinner to the town. All right, how about that? I actually think that's pretty cool. I kind of wish that's how life worked now. Like a big monster descends on your town, we all murder it, and then we get to eat the meat for a year till the next monster. Anyway, that's a me thing. That's my dream sequence. Erin and Marty are cheering now. They're those kind of people that cheer in a movie theater. You know, those people that you hate so much. And Marty then makes the snide comment. We'll get this from Marty a lot. He's too cool for school. He's like, well, I think Shocker 5 was scarier. So, you know, even though I was screaming a whole lot and my pants are wet in the middle, I still think the fifth one was better. So as they leave the theater, they're joking and teasing each other. Marty pretends he wasn't scared. Erin calls him out. Get this a lot. This is going to be pretty common throughout the book. And a woman actually mistakes the two for twins, which is interesting. Because, and I think maybe this is just to remind us as Goosebumps readers that this is not a brother-sister situation as we were accustomed to. These are just friends. But they mistake them for twins, which they, of course, deny, and they do look alike. A little seed for later that I didn't pick up on immediately, but yes. They continue playfully running around, tripping each other, and then Erin then's like, man, that's crazy. We were the only kids at the special sneak preview of the new Shocker movie, which is thanks to her dad, who's this bigwig movie industry guy. He's got all these connections. He's pretty important. He can get the kids into a special sneak peek, so they feel pretty special getting to see their favorite franchise, the newest film. And they're talking about how realistic the monsters looked. And he's like, dude, especially the electric eel woman and toxic creep. Dude, they looked real good. And as they're talking about this, I'm like, dude, I fucking want to see this movie. This sounds like a trauma film with a budget. It sounds really good.
While we're talking this, I'm sorry, but the whole time I just keep thinking, like, what am I going to watch after? Like, I need to watch a bunch of fucking creature feature movies now that 100%. Are just like wolf crabs and like.
I'm kind of in the mood for a trauma movie, actually. I'm in the mood for something just.
Well, it's been a while since we've watched
a
trauma.
We should. Let's do it. So Marty, he jokes, as he does. He says, Erin, they looked real because they might be real.
I like that. They're setting it up. Like, oh, maybe that's what's happening later.
Right. And not to go off on another tangent, but he's been very good about that lately, of sending you down a path because you've read one of his old books and you're like, I've been here before, but then twisting it on you. So he pits himself against you at all times. So I was like, oh, I see what he's doing here. Okay, all right. But anyway, as they turn down another hallway here in this old theater, they're walking out. The wolf crab appears in real life, grabs Erin with its claws, and howls, oh, 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 boom, boom, boom.
There's a couple of parts in the first chapter that I'm just like, this seems a bit too much. And then I'm like, well, it is a sneak preview in Hollywood, and her dad's the special effects guy. Probably, actually, this actually makes all the sense in the world. Because it turns out she's not actually grabbed by a real wolf crabbed by a dude in a costume who's doing like a promotional thing. And there's like, it's very exciting. And everyone's just like, you got scared by a man in a costume. And she's like, shut up. And then, oh shit, Your version said then play the game on CD-ROM, huh? Guess what? Mine did not. Mine said play the game online. So,
interesting.
But apparently there's a game version of A Shocker on Shock Street. Check it out online or on CD-ROM. So remember when they used to do that, specify not just CD, but CD-ROM? Because
CD-ROM.
Otherwise you'd be stupid and just keep putting in her mom's CD player and she'd be like, stop! Anyway.
Mom, I gotta take out fucking Aerosmith again for the Shocker on Shock Street. Whatever. I was going to say Gordy Lightfoot. That's what I wanted to say.
I mean, my mom likes Gordon Lightfoot too, so that's fine.
Me too. Does she call him Gordy Lightfoot?
No, she does not call him Gordy Lightfoot. As far as I know, I'll ask her for you, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you.
The man in the costume apologizes because he knows that Erin's the daughter of the special effects guy who did all the special effects, designed Wolf Crab, whatever. Erin and Marty, they're just like, hey, let's go visit my dad. So they go over and visit Dad, who's in the building. He works in the movie theater that's specially presentating. Sure, whatever. They don't always show movies in movie theater. So it's weird. So Erin's dad is a theme park designer and robotics expert. He helped build Prehistoric Park, which had robotic dinosaurs. I'm sure you guys remember Prehistoric Park with the robotic dinosaurs. He also did the Fantasy Film Studio Tour, which I think is clearly supposed to be the Universal Studios tour, and which has a walk-through movie screen experience. That was another moment that's like, Arlson's just writing things without thinking about how that actually makes any kind of sense. She's like, you could just walk through a movie screen and become any movie character you wanted. It's like, what does that mean? What does that fucking mean? His office is filled with like cool movie memorabilia, models of rides. There's some props from the Shock Street films. I think there's like the gloves from Wolf Boy, the little wolf gloves or something was in there. Whatever. Erin and Marty, they loved it. It's filled with fucking toys and shit. But Erin's dad looks super worried and stressed right now. He's on the phone, hunched over, shirt collar loosened, tie probably down, not loosened too. His face is flushed because he turns bright pink when he's upset, apparently, which makes me think of the librarian monster and the girl who's scared of librarians, I think.
Yeah, that old number.
I either perfectly remember the title of a book or misremember it so badly. It's like when I'm writing and spell check is like, I can't fucking help you, dude. Like, take another shot at it. That's not a real word.
I think you're thinking of the girl who cried monster.
Yes, that's it. So, Erin's dad, he finally sees them and he says, very bad news, Erin. Very, very bad news. Bum, bum, bum. Bum.
Oof. That's rough news coming from your dad. Erin's upset because she's worried about what this news might be. Oh my God, what could it be? Something wrong with Mama? Something wrong with Papa? Is it his prostate? No. It's just Dad goofing. He says, gotcha! Got your ass! And then Erin playfully pretends to strangle him, of course. Marty says, because Marty's too cool for school, dude. He's like, oh, that was lame, dude. Your dad's lame. Dad then reveals some good news. All right, he turns it on him. He says, kids, listen. You know me. I'm your dad. I'm very important. Well, Marty, I'm not your dad, but, you know, we don't know anything about your dad, so maybe I can be your dad. It's always
dangerous when there's a kid not related to the parents involved. Remember One Day at Terrorland or whatever that one was called? That fucking kid, Morton, who
Colt.
got
I don't remember his name, but he got fucked up.
Yeah, right? Lewis?
Yeah,
Lumbee?
Kobe? Coron?
Neville?
Cornon? Neville.
You keep talking.
I will. So Dad's like, listen, kids, guess what? Great news. You know how you like that Shocker series there? The old scary movies? Well, guess what, kids? You're going to be the first kids to test out the new Shocker Studio Tour. And the kids are like, what the hell, dude? Really? Us kids? We're going to be the first kids, dude? He's like, yep. And he shows them a model of the whole thing. It's got a little tram car. It takes visitors through the studio, down Shock Street. They get to see all the stuff from all the movies, all the props, all the sets, everything, and it's all baked into this experience, this tour. Sounds fucking awesome. What if there was one of these for, like, Nightmare on Elm Street or for, like, Friday the 13th?
I would go to Camp Crystal Lake right now.
Dude, that's amazing. So Erin and Marty are thrilled, much as Dylan and I would be, to do literally anything like this. And because because they're huge fans. And then Dad's like, all right, here's the thing. The tour includes, you get to meet the characters from the horror films, all right? It's designed to be scary and super realistic, and you're going to be not just the only kids, not just the first kids, you're going to be the only people to do the tour. You're going to be the first, you're the test case, you're the guinea pigs. This is all going to be all you. And the kids are like, holy shit, this is insane. So they're pretty stoked about it. And then Marty, he teases Erin. He's like, if Erin can even do it because she gets scared so easy. And then Erin's like, Marty, you're the real scaredy cat. And again, they keep doing this, and it's very obnoxious. And Dad's like, calm down, you two, even you, Marty, who's not my son. I'll fucking backhand you, son. You settle it.
Honestly?
Right? And then he's like, you guys really need to stick together during the tour. I just want to make that very clear. You really got to stick together. And Erin's like, well, Dad, can Mom come too? I think she'd really like it. And then here, Dad reacts strangely. His face turns red, as he does. And he stares at Erin for a second, and he's like, Erin, are you feeling okay? And Erin's confused, and she's very unsettled by that remark. She just wanted to ask, like, hey, why can't Mom come? Should Mom come with us? And she's like, is something wrong with Mom? Like, why did Dad react so oddly to that? Did he do something to Mom? Bum, bum, bum?
Nah, Erin's dad's just like, hey, you'll just have more fun alone. Mom's, she's sleepy. She's always sleepy. She's so sleepy. Erin's excited, but
this did unsettle me though when I read this. I was
right?
like, oh, this is good, dude. Yeah.
Because you're just like, is Arnold finally gonna kill a mom? This is definitely like that fun episode of Forensic Files where the dad kills the mom and the kids sort of know something happened, but they didn't, and he buries her in the backyard and then cements over it.
And then they dig her up years later. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they remember, because she remembers seeing her dad back there.
Yeah.
And then they excavated it when she got the house. I remember that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's how awesome we are. We remember specific episodes of Forensic Files together.
Yeah.
We're special. We really are.
Anyway, special kind of special, yeah. Shit, where were we? So that's where Mom is. Anyway, next afternoon, Dad's like, let's go to Shocker Studios. They're driving. It's foggy. It's gloomy. I feel like more smoggy in Hollywood Hills, but whatever. It's perfect for a horror movie. Marty's like, yay. He's kind of, I feel like Marty would be driving me fucking insane, just bouncing around the back seat, teasing Erin. Erin's just like, shut up. All right. They get to the studio. Guard recognizes Dad, opens the gates. Marty's constantly hassling Dad. He's like, hey, what's on the tour? What are the monsters on tour? Are they going to kill people? What's going on with these monsters? It's super cool. And Dad's just like, shut up. Shh. Surprise. You need to stay in the tram car at all times. You don't get to walk on Chalk Street. You stay in the car. Tram shows up. I'm feeling like this is Jurassic Park right now. Like, tram shows up. Yeah. 6 black cars with a grinning white skull in the front car. Linda, our good friend Linda, red hair, probably, this is like a summer job. She probably goes to like UCLA, like, so she took this job so she could do summer classes and stuff. She's like, hey, I'm your tour guide. I'm Linda. Marty and Erin are super excited because they're still the only passengers. They can sit where they want. They obviously pick the car with the skull in the front. Linda's like, hey, I got something for you. She gives them each a Shocker Stun Ray Blaster, a plastic ray gun that can freeze monsters from 20 feet away. And don't use them unless they're absolutely necessary. And Erin's just like, that's stupid. These are just toys, right? But Linda's like, whatever. And Linda, she's about to hand Marty a blaster, but then she trips over a cord and she accidentally fires it. And a bright yellow ray shoots out and hits Linda, and then she's frozen on the platform, completely still. Bomb, bomb, bomb.
Laugh out loud moment for me. I was like, these goobers running around misfiring their laser blasters? Jesus Christ. Was it amateur hour? So Erin screams when Linda is frozen by the blaster. So that's what's happened. We've come to a tour, and it hasn't even got started because one of the employees has now
frozen. We're
fucking frozen themselves. But it turns out once again to be a prank. We're at like 4 different chapters ending on pranks, which, folks, I know what you're thinking, but trust me, it gets better. All right, but this one's a prank. Linda and Dad, they laugh. Ha ha! I think Dad sends out this zinger. That was the first shock of the shocker tour, huh, kids? What the fuck? Marty pretends he wasn't scared, but he peed a little, and Erin can tell. So anyway, they climb into the front seat of this tram, as Dylan described. Very cool. Skulls on the front. Linda and Dad stay behind and, waving them goodbye. The tram jolts forward. Now we're off on the tour. First stop, the Haunted House of Horror, which is an odd first stop. That feels like something you close out on, but they're stopping at the Haunted House of Horror right out of the gate. And Marty, he kind of like, they're talking about it. He doesn't seem like he can be impressed by anything at this point. They just got started. They're heading through to the haunted house. Everything's looking real. Everything's looking good. But he's like, I think the blasters are kind of lame and the ride's kind of babyish. And Erin's super stoked about the whole thing. So she's like, whatever, just fucking, would you stop complaining and just be in the moment? My God. Why did I even ask you to come?
It's right? My dad's amusement park.
Right? You didn't even have to be here. So anyway, they pass by some creepy sights, right? We got the swinging porch swing moving on its own. Love that. Shutters opening and shutting, skeleton silhouettes in the windows. Just a regular Halloween-themed horror house type thing. Screams and howls from the inside. And then the tram moves on through and it kind of enters the house. And inside the house, there's a door and it says, "Abandon all hope." And the kids are like, all right, well, this is looking pretty good, looking nice and spooky. They go inside the haunted kitchen. Typical haunted kitchen things. If a kitchen gets haunted, you better believe pots and pans are getting involved. All right, a ghost can't haunt a kitchen without making a little racket. So they got the pots and pans flying.
It makes me think of one of my least favorite levels in Splatterhouse, where you're just fucking fighting poltergeist objects.
Oh, yeah. And the mops. There's always mops. All the mops. Anyway, they do all that. It's fun, rattling dishes. Marty... Erin's still into it, but Marty's kind of mocking the ride at this point. He's like, all right, this is kind of like not what I was looking forward to. And Erin's like, you're kind of ruining it for me right now. If you could just keep your mouth shut, that'd be great. And then they enter the dark living room, flickering chandelier. Chandelier goes out. All right, the room is plunged into absolute darkness. And then a deep, eerie voice welcomes them. Welcome to my humble home. And Erin tries to talk to Marty. She's like, what the fuck was that, Marty? Marty! But Marty's gone. Bum, bum, bum.
Erin's losing her shit. She's just like, what the fuck? Marty! But then Marty's just like, I'm right here. Apparently there's like some sort of weird trick with the lighting, so it makes it look like no one's sitting there. I don't really get how this is working. Like, I feel like it's just super dark, right? I don't know.
He just needed to end a chapter, I guess. I don't know. Some things are just what they are.
Erin's just like, I was super scared. And Marty's just like, you dipshit. But then a fire comes on in the fireplace, and it's just like, whoa! And a grinning skeleton shows up in the chair, and he's just like, you will never leave. Wah! Tram jolts forward, and they start going through this fucking roller coaster ride throughout the haunted house. And it's just like super fast and scary, and they're not like locked into anything, so she's just like, I feel like this isn't safe. And they're just holding onto the tram, no seatbelts, no safety bars, total darkness, then not darkness. It's like, Then the tram bolts out of the house, and they're going through the foggy backyard, zigzagging through the trees, going crazy. Erin's just like, oh my God, someone cut the brakes. But then the tram slows down and stops, and it gets a little less foggy. But then it gets really fucking dark and spooky, too. Marty's just like, why'd we even stop? Erin's just like, because them bushes are moving. And then she sees glowing red eyes start popping up in the bushes around them. Claws appearing, pulling apart the branches, and like the creatures leap out. And tram is surrounded.
It's lawn gnomes.
Snarling, wheezing monsters. And they begin to climb into the tram, reaching for Erin and Marty. Oh my God, they're gonna die. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh my God, they are gonna die. They panic. The monsters are surrounding the tram. What are they gonna do? One hairy beast swipes at Erin and roars, "Rawr!" Then asks, would you like an autograph? And it turns out the monsters are actors from horror movies. They're doing a little meet and greet segment of the tour here. And that's pretty fun. Marty, he recognizes a few. You know, he sees Ape Face out there. Erin sees a few as well. She's like, oh, there's Toxic Wild Man and Sweet Sue. She's the murdering baby doll from Mars. The Fabulous Frog / the Toadinator. It's a wart-covered frog-faced creature from the Pond Scum movies. But they're having a good time. They're getting autographs from monsters. I'm actually kind of jealous. And then they get those autograph photos. Erin's like, God damn, these costumes looking real good. Like, I haven't seen a zipper on any of these folks. I don't see buttons, no seams or anything like these. You talk about, like, I've been to some cosplay conventions, and this is just next level. Like, what they're able to do in Hollywood, just out of this world. Marty's like, yeah, well, the autographs are cool, but this is kind of for babies. I mean, it's kind of like we went to McDonald's and saw Grimace and Ronald McDonald. Like, this is not, like, we're just seeing guys in suits. We got to see a haunted house. Big deal. They're just actors. They're just really good costumes. But Erin's kind of skeptical. She's like, I don't know. The realism so far has been kind of whack to me. Like, maybe I'm just naive, but this is really getting to me. So the tram backs out, heads toward the studio buildings, and Erin, she spots some golf carts carrying people to sound stages. And she's like, well, maybe they're shooting some movies over there. Maybe we can go watch. Can we go watch that? And a voice announces at the next stop, The Cave of the Living Creeps. Now Marty and Erin are excited. Sounds scary, but they go on to say, we had no idea just how scary it would turn out to be.
I always love when we get a little foreboding, foreshadowing, where it's just like, oh, is shit about to get real? No! Well, actually, yes. I find this whole sequence a little upsetting. A little upsetting. We're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, right. But that's my job. So Erin and Marty ride the tram into the Cave of the Living Creeps. And it's this dark tunnel. It's in the middle of a hillside. There's a sign above the entrance that just reads, Farewell. And the cave is cold and damp and filled with the sour, earthy smell of earthworms. Just like, imagine just putting your face in a big bowl of earthworms. That's how it smells in that cave. And Marty, he's like, I wonder if there's any bats in here. And Erin's just like, you need to shut the fuck up. Because I'm terrified of bats. I hate bats more than anything. There's even a moment where she's like, I understand that they're not harmful and that they're good for people and all that shit, but I can't stand them. So go fuck yourself. And Marty's just like, I see a vampire bat. Ooh. And she's just like, you need to stop. It's like whenever people keep making fun of Travis and his fear of snakes, she's not having it. So she decks him and he goes down like a lightweight. Yeah. And the train starts descending even deeper in the cave, scraping against the walls. And Erin feels something cold and slimy drop on the back of her neck. And she's like, hey, Marty, knock that shit off. And then she realizes that he's got his hands on the bar in front of her. She pulls off the object off her neck, and she sees it's a giant, white, wet worm. And Marty, he leans in to examine it, and he pokes it, and as soon as he touches it, he fucking loses his shit too. He screams in horror, and it sounds a little like bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I wish he screamed like that. I have quite a bit of reading to do here because this first part of this chapter was just too good. So here we go, folks. Buckle in. What is it, Marty? What's wrong? I shrieked. He couldn't speak. He could only utter, I. His eyes bulged. His tongue flopped out. He reached up and pulled a white worm off the top of his head. I got one too. Yuck, I cried. His worm was nearly as long as a shoelace. We both tossed our worms out of the tram. But then I felt a soft, damp plop on my shoulder, and then a cold plop on the top of my head, and another on my forehead like a cold slap. Oh, help, I moaned. I started thrashing my arms, grabbing at the worms, struggling to pull them off me. Marty, please! I turned to him for help, but he was battling them too, twisting and ducking, trying to dodge as more and more white worms fell from the ceiling. I saw one fall on his shoulder. I saw another one begin to wrap itself around his ear. As fast as I could, I pulled the sticky, wet creatures off me and tossed them over the side of the slow-rolling tram. Where are they coming from? I wondered. I glanced up, and a fat, wet one fell over my eyes. Yow! I let out a shriek, grabbed it, and flung it away. The tram turned sharply, sending us both sliding over the seat. The cave narrowed again as they entered a different tunnel. The silvery light glowed dimly around us as we bounced forward. 2 white worms, each at least a foot long, wriggled across my lap. I tugged them off and heaved them over the tram. Got to tug off those worms. Breathing hard, I searched for more. My whole body itched. The back of my neck tingled. I couldn't stop shaking. "They stopped falling," Marty announced in a shaky voice. Then why did I still itch? I rubbed the back of my neck, stood up and searched the seat, then the floor. I found one last worm, climbing over my shoe. I kicked it away, then dropped back into the seat with a loud sigh. "That was totally gross," I wailed. Marty scratched his chest, then rubbed his face with both hands. "I guess that's why they call it the Cave of the Living Creeps," he said. He swept a hand back through his black hair. Which is an important detail. It's not, but it's in here. I shivered. I couldn't stop itching. I knew the worms were gone, but I could still feel them. "Those disgusting white worms, do you think they were alive?" Marty shook his head. "Of course not. They were fakes," he snickered. "I guess they fooled you, huh?" "Oh, they sure felt real," I replied. "And the way they wriggled around." "They were robots or something," Marty said, scratching his knees. "Everything here is fake. It has to be." "I'm not so sure," I said, my whole body still itchy and tingling. "Well, just ask your father," Marty replied grumpily. I had to laugh. I knew why Marty was suddenly so grouchy. Whether the worms were real or fake, they had scared him. And he knew what I knew. And he knew that I knew that he had been. And he knew that I knew that he had been frightened. What a sentence!
Arlstein, you fuck.
"I don't think little kids will like the worms," Marty said. "I think they'll get too scared. I'm going to tell that to your dad." I started to reply and felt something drop over me, something scratchy and dry. It covered my face, my shoulders, my entire body. I shot both hands up and tried to push it away. "It's some kind of a net?" I thought. I grabbed at it, desperate to get it off my face. As I struggled, I turned and saw Marty squirming and batting his arms, caught under the same net. The tram bounced through the dim cave tunnel. The sticky net felt like cotton candy on my skin. Marty let out a yelp. It's a big spider web," he stammered. I tugged and grabbed and pulled, but the sticky threads clung to my face, my arms, and my clothes. "Yuck, this is so gross." And then I saw the black dots scurrying through the net. It took me a few seconds to realize what they were. Spiders! Hundreds of them! "Oh!" A low moan escaped my throat.
Serves you right.
I finally got that low moan in there. I batted the spider web with both hands. I rubbed my cheeks frantically, trying to scrape away the sticky threads. I pulled a spider off my forehead, another one off of my T-shirt. "The spiders! They're in my hair!" Marty wailed. He suddenly forgot about acting cool. He began racking his hair with both hands, slapping himself in the head, pinching and swiping at the spiders. As the tram rolled silently on, we both twisted and squirmed, struggling to flick away the black spiders. I pulled 3 of them out of my hair. Then I felt one climb into my nose. I opened my mouth in a horrified scream and sneezed it out. Marty plucked a spider off my neck and sent it soaring through the air. The last spider. I couldn't see or feel any more. We both dropped down in the seat, breathing hard. My heart pounded in my chest. "Still think everything is fake?" I asked Marty, my voice weak and small. I don't know," he replied softly. The spiders could be puppets. Maybe, like radio-controlled." Because Marty's a fucking idiot. And Erin insists, she goes on to insist, "These spiders were pretty real, Marty." And Marty's like, I don't know. I mean, it would be cool if they were, Erin, but, come on, we're in a studio. And they disagree, and Erin's like, "Well, I'm going to tell Dad the worms and spiders are a bit too much." And I think Marty's like, I kind of agree with that. Erin's afraid of bats, definitely afraid of bats, and they do happen to be in a cave, and Marty keeps teasing her about bats. He's like, "Bats are going to show up and suck all your blood out and give you rabies, and they'll have to put 14 shots in your stomach," and whatever else people tell you. Erin's fed up. She doesn't want to be teased anymore. All right, she's over it. And the cave opens up into a vast cavern, and it's got big rocks and stalactites and stalagmites, and there's an eerie green light in the distance, and the tram, it stops at the back wall. It parks, doesn't move, and the kids wait. They're like, what's going on here? And there's no music playing, nothing to chime them on that everything's all right and everything's still operational. There's no lights. They're just in a cave, and it's stopped, and they're kind of uneasy about it. Erin calls out for help. "Help! Hello!" No response. Just plop, plop, plop. The sound of, how caves are always dripping that water. Just the sound of dripping water. And then suddenly Erin's like, wait a minute. where the fuck is Marty? And Marty's gone again. And she reaches out and she's like, Marty, Marty! And then she felt a cold shiver because this time, by God, he's really disappeared. Bum, bum, bum!
So then Erin's startled by Marty because he is outside of the tram, but he's got out to jump out and scare her.
God damn it,
Marty's
Marty.
like, I was just investigating the tram, seeing why it stopped. Erin's like, hey, tour guide said don't leave the fucking tram. Don't leave the fucking tram. Marty's like, I think it's broken. Like, it probably fell off of its tracks, but there aren't any tracks. And he tries shaking and pushing the tram, which is like, yeah, it's a 12-year-old boy, so I'm sure he made that fucking roll. But Erin's
I'm such a rule follower, dude. If they're like, don't leave the tram, like, they'd have to pry me out of it when the ride's done. You know?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not
Exactly.
breaking
I wouldn't
rules.
have... I would have been like Erin, and I would have just stayed in there like a good little robot.
Yep.
But Erin's anxious because she's like, we might be stranded in here. And she shouts for help, but all she can hear is that drip, drip water. That drip, drip water. Marty's like, we should try and find an emergency exit. Theme parks always have an emergency exit in the rides, and I think he's actually right, so that's fine. Erin's hesitant. She's afraid of the dark cave and the creepy crawlers, but he's like, we should go, because it could take days for them to find us. And it's like, what is wrong with you? You're so stupid. You're so stupid. And Erin's just like, fine, because Marty just walks away, and at that age, I feel like you have to follow. You can't just let him walk off and die. But then Marty's doing the backwards walking. He's like, come on, Erin, hurry up. Come on, follow me. But then Erin stops. She's like, what the fuck? And Marty's just like, hey, are you just judging me right now? And she's like, no, there's something behind you. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, snap. The old something behind you trick. We love to see that. Erin, she just tries to warn Marty. She's like, but she can't get anything out because you ever been there? I've been there. A lot of times, not in this situation, but back when our kid was small, and she would always be close to like falling over. And you know, see, the kids got those big heads, and all you can imagine is just them smashing off the floor like a melon. And there would be times where I would be trying to communicate to my wife that the kid was about to do something, and nothing would come out. I'd just be like, habla, 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 habla. And I imagine that was what happened here. A lot of habla, habla. Marty does turn though. He hears like. He gets the message, and he turns and he sees an enormous insect-like creature. Then he runs back to Erin. He's no longer a tough guy. Not with that. Not with this. I'll read you a bit here. At first, I thought it was some kind of a machine. It looks like one of those tall steel cranes you see on construction sites, all silvery and metallic. But as it rose up on its wire-thin back legs, I saw that it was alive. It had round black eyes the size of billiard balls. They spun wildly in its skinny silver skull. 2 slender antennae bobbed at the top of the head. Its mouth appeared soft, mushy. A gray tongue darted out between long, bristly whiskers. Its long body stretched back like a folded-up leaf. As it stood, it waved its front legs, short white sticks. The whole creature looked like some kind of gross stick figure. Its long black legs bent and sprang forward, bent then sprang forward. The thick tongue swung from side to side. The black eyes stopped whirling and focused on me. Is it a grasshopper? I choked out. Marty and I had both backed up to the tram. Waving its stick arms, the creature sprang closer, its antennae circling slowly on top of its head. Marty and I pressed our backs against the cold cave wall. We couldn't move back any farther. I think it's a praying mantis, Marty replied, staring up at it. The insect had to be at least 3 times as tall as us. As it moved forward, its head nearly scraped the cave ceiling. The tongue licked its soft, mushy mouth. The mouth puckered and made loud sucking sound. My stomach lurched. The sound was so sick. The round black eyes stared down at Marty and me. The giant praying mantis, its body shining like aluminum, took another hopping step toward us. It started to lower its head. Whoa. What's it going to do? I stammered, pressing my back hard against the cave wall. To my surprise, Marty suddenly started to laugh. I turned to him and grabbed his shoulder. Was he totally losing it? Marty, are you okay? Well, Marty believes it's a robot. That's why Marty's not so upset. He's not bought into the kayfabe like Erin. He's like, it's part of the ride. It just got me good, Erin. Tell your dad this fucking shit looks good, dude. Like this shit.
Yeah.
Holy, my God, that's a lifelike metallic praying mantis if I've ever seen one. And Erin she's disturbed. She's like, well, it's a little too lifelike if you ask me. I mean, come on, it's kind of went way past Uncanny Valley. We're in Canny Valley. I don't like it. And gross details like the saliva and the sucking sounds too much for her. And if that doesn't beat all, fucking second one appears. Now there's two of them, and they begin chittering and moving together, hissing and doing all the things that a giant praying mantis would do. And Marty, he's like, God damn, look at the smooth, realistic motion on these. Well, we should be heading back to the tram. Well, as they try to get back to the tram, because Marty's pretty over these, he's like, man, this is the first coolest thing I've seen. Maybe there's more cool shit to see. Let's get back on that tram, get boogieing. That first mantis that they saw then hops in front of them and blocks their path. And they realize, like, oh, they're trying to block us from the tram. And then it headbutts Erin. It headbutts her, knocks her flat. And then Marty's like, oh, God, these machines must be malfunctioning. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. And the mantis, the headbutter, it pushes Erin toward the center of the cave, while another one's got Marty all trapped. And now they're more emerging from behind rocks, bloop, 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 popping up and circling them. All right, can't get to the tram. Now we're surrounded by big, weird metal monsters, and they huddle together because they're completely surrounded and shit out of luck. Bum, bum, bum.
Chapter 13. The giant insects all began chittering at once. They scraped their front legs together excitedly. The shrill whistle rose through the cave, echoing off the stone walls. They formed a circle around us, leaning back on their spindly hind legs, moving closer, tightening the circle. Their tongues whipped back and forth, thick glob. Fuck! God fucking damn it, I fucked up again! Thick gobs of mantis saliva hit the floor. They're out of control! Marty shrieked. What are they going to do to us? I cried, covering my ears against their excited chirps and the deafening whistle. Maybe they are voice-controlled, Marty shouted. He tilted back his head and shouted up at them. Stop! Stop! They didn't stop. One of them tilted its silvery head, opened its ugly mouth wide, and spit out a black gob. It splattered all over Marty's sneakers. He jumped back. Kissenbell! Huh! His sneakers stuck to the floor. He struggled to tug it free. Yuck! Watch out! That black stuff, it's like glue! He cried. Boom! Another mantis opened its mouth wide and spit out a big black gob of sticky goo. It splotched the shoulder of my t-shirt. Ah! I wailed. It was so hot, it burned me right through my shirt. The others chittered shrilly and scraped their hairy stick arms. Their tongues darting back and forth, they began to lower their heads to us. The stun guns, I cried, grabbing Marty's arm.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the guns will work against these bugs. Those guns are only toys, he wailed. Thump! Another black gob missed Marty's foot by inches. Besides, the guns are in the tram, Marty continued, staring up at the ugly creatures. No way they'll let us get to the tram! Then what are we going to do? I cried. As I asked the question, an idea flashed into my mind. Marty, I whispered, how do you normally get rid of bugs? The response to this kind of reminds me of the scene in the first X-Men movie where Storm, as played by Halle Berry, asks Toad, as played by Ray Park, whatever, Ray Parkhurst, who's playing Toad, and says, what happens when a toad is struck by lightning? And then her response is the same thing that happens to everything else, which is it is electrocuted. Not a great comeback, I feel like. I feel like it should have been like Toad surprise, like anything. Anything would have been like a shocking experience. Anything. But that was so lame. So Erin's like, what do you do to bugs? And Marty's like, what? And she's like, stomp on them. It's like,
when I read that, I was like, kind of like Marty took the words out of my mouth. Like, the fuck you mean?
But Erin just goes and starts stomping on their feet, and the mantises do not like it. It's almost like it's their fucking kryptonite. One of them goes down, like, just drops to its side. Marty goes crazy. They just start stomping on bug feet, and these bugs are like, no, stop, not our feet. Oh,
they don't say anything. It was kind of ridiculous. That was kind of ridiculous.
So she breaks through the circle, runs to the tram, and grabs both the stun guns. She's fully loaded a bear now. She's running along the cave wall, looking for an escape route. Apparently doesn't turn and start shooting. I would have gotten guns and been like, let's go, motherfuckers. Like, she's already beat them in melee combat. Like
very early in my relationship with these guns, I would have test fired one.
Yeah.
Like, they still have no idea what they do.
No. And, like, she went toe-to-toe with them. Like, and was able to get away unscathed. Now she's got 2 guns. You feel like she could... Got 2 guns, 1 for each of them. Anyway, she finds a narrow crack in the cave wall, squeezes through it, and bursts into daylight. She's outside. She feels great. And then she hears Marty screaming, Erin, help me, they got me, they're eating me, Erin, oh my God, they're eating me, from the belly up, oh my God, bump. Lily, stop farting. Like, I fucking can't right now. It smells like old meat and beans, and she will not stop. Lily.
And beans. The beans kind of help it, though. When you got to the beans, I was like, well, not that bad.
No, because it's just that kind of, like, effervescent uplift for the old meat smell. It's just kind of like a little, like, potpourri of, like, no. Lily.
Yeah.
You can go hang out with Mama. Go see Pam. Go see your Mama. Nope, just parts.
You're really giving me the... You're giving me the... I can feel like I'm immersed inside this cave with those smells. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I like to give a 4D experience. We passed up an opportunity to watch Sonic Night of the Werehog while we were in Niagara Falls today, which was a 4D cinematic experience, and we passed it up. I was like, but we gotta go fast. And Pam's like, yeah, we gotta go home.
Well, Erin hears Marty scream for help, and she finds him safe because he's a bitch, and he's grinning, and he's like, April Fools! And she's furious. She's like, why now? That's the worst time. We were seriously...
Yeah, we were actually in danger.
And so she tries to hit him. She goes off. He dodges. He's lucky. He laughs off her anger, and she's pissed. And everybody's mad. And then... So Erin tries to, she's trying to reason with this. In her mind, she's like, these creatures might be real. I don't think they're robotic. They seem a little too real. They behave a little too on their own. And they're kind of dangerous. So I don't think that they're programmed to do what they're doing. But she keeps those thoughts to herself because, Marty's just going to be a bitch about it. He's kind of being a dick. And, but deep down, she does kind of hope Marty's right. She'd rather it be movie magic. But she... honestly just feels in danger. Now, Erin and Marty leave the cave. They finally make their way through. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and then they come out, and now they're outside, and they enter a movie set town. It's very clearly a town. There's no people, but it's set up with buildings and things, and they realize suddenly, we're on Shock Street. This is the eponymous. This is the street they named the movie after. They made the movie after. And they explore this eerie set, noting all the landmarks from the horror films, all the little things that they recognize. This one was shot here. Oh, I remember this. I remember that. Marty steps into an empty lot where the Mad Mangler, the old Mad Mangler, was featured in a movie. How has there not been a killer named the Mad Mangler in history? You've read a lot of true crime.
Are you sure there's not? I feel like there probably has. Just Harold Schechter hasn't written the book on him yet.
I'm going to say you would know. But yeah, he's joking about the Mad Mangler. He's like, yeah, this is where it was. And he's getting carried away. Marty's starting to run around looking at things, being like, oh, I remember this, I remember that, I remember this. And then he sees this old cemetery from one of his favorites, Cemetery on Shock Street, and he books it straight to the cemetery. And Erin's like, no, not this. What are you doing? Don't go in the fucking cemetery. Marty, what the fuck? He goes to the cemetery. He says it's part of the tour. They wouldn't put it here if we didn't want us to go over there. And there's a gate. And he squeezes through the gate to get into the cemetery. There's a gate.
That's how most amusement park rides work, is that you have to sneak in.
Right. Exactly. And Erin's like, I don't think that this was... Okay, whatever. And then she watches him. He walks toward the graves. And then suddenly, almost comically in my mind, but suddenly, his arms flail up into the air and he whoop, vanishes from sight. Bum, bum, bum.
It's like when that one kid from Say Cheese or Die takes a baseball to the back of the head and he goes like, "Wah!" and throws his arms up in the air and goes down. And everyone's just like, fuck. Just like that. So Erin sees Marty vanish. She's like, thank God. Thank God. But she's like, I should probably make sure that he's dead. So she enters the cemetery and then she sees him at the bottom of the open grave and he's covered in dirt, but unharmed. And he's just like, holy shit. Well, at least I can say I was buried in a grave on, I was going to say Fear Street. It's not Fear Street. That's, honestly, I kind of want to rewatch the Fear Street movies. Those were kind of fun. But he was buried in a grave from Shock Street, not Fear Street. Erin's like, get the fuck out of there. We need to get out of here. We're not supposed to be in here. Marty's just like, no, but these tombstones are hilarious. This one's for Ben Dover, and this one's for Sit Up, and this one for Gym Socks. And she's like, these are pretty funny. They're not as funny as they could have been, honestly. They could have been funnier, but I feel like Arlstein got bored. But then there's like these fucking strange-ass gray wisps floating through the cemetery, and Marty's just like, that's pretty cool. It's more special effects. You know, that's neat. And Erin hears like someone screaming, and she's like, that seems like that might be bad. Marty is still just like, no, we need to finish the tour. We need to finish the tour. How can we finish the tour? I demanded. We were supposed to stay on the tram, remember? But the tram... Ah! I cried out as a hand shot up from the ground in front of us. A green hand. Its long fingers unfolded as reaching for us. Whoa! Marty cried, stumbling back. Another green hand shot up from the dirt, then two more. Hands reaching up from the graves. I let out a frightened gasp. Hands were bursting up through the grass. Hands all around us, their fingers twisting and arching, reaching out. Marty started to laugh. This is totally awesome, just like in the movie! He stopped laughing as a hand poked up beside him and grabbed his ankle. Erin! Help! He cried. But I didn't. The end. Oh, sorry. But I couldn't help. Two green hands had wrapped around my ankles and were pulling me down. Down into the grave. Bum, bum, bum. So this guy calls 911 and he says, hey, I have a problem. My buddy and I were going out hunting and I accidentally shot him. 911 dispatcher's just like, all right. Calm down, sir. First thing you need to do, make sure that your friend is dead. Well, gunshot. And the guy comes back on the line. It's just like, all right, now what? I tell the joke wrong. God damn it. Anyway.
I think that's what made me laugh. I was like, something didn't hit.
I was supposed to say, I think I killed him. And then she's just like, first make sure he's dead before we go into the saving his life. And then he shoots him and kills him. But never mind. I was just thinking about
well.
That. Yeah.
All right.
Chapter
here we go.
15 again. Let's do that whole chapter again.
You know what? Let's go to 16. Erin,
okay.
You know, so there's hands. There's hands coming up out of the ground. All right, this book's crazy. We got a giant mantis, and now we got fucking worms and shit. We had worms. We had spiders, and now we got shit coming up out of the ground. It's crazy. And Erin's like, there's green hands coming up out of the ground, and she doesn't want to be on the ground, so she tries to keep on her feet. She does not want to go down to all fours, because that would render her absolutely helpless. She still has some agency if she can keep her balance. And she obviously realizing that these are probably not part of the ride. I don't think that this would be, like... And I was thinking about this, too, as I was reading it, because I'm a little too, like, anal retentive. I was like, oh, my God, if they were going to pull me into mud, they should have told me so I didn't wear, like, a good shirt.
It's like knowing that you're going to go on a water ride or whatever. Like, you know ahead of time that you're going to need.
Exactly, yeah. You sign a waiver or something. Your dad's got to tell you, like, oh, don't wear your school shoes. You're going to be getting in the mud. So anyway, she's like, these can't be part of the ride. This is crazy. And a moaning voice repeatedly calls, come down with us. Come down with us. Intensifying everything. I mean, we got hands coming up pulling you down. Marty's also being dragged down, and he fucked up. He's on all fours, and he's gripped by multiple hands on his ankles and his wrists, and he's basically being pulled in and suffocated into the mud. And Erin, She manages to escape. She's smart. She slips out of her shoes, hops out of her shoes, and because now she's free, and she goes over to Marty and helps get Marty free by pulling his shoes off, helping him get his shoes off, and then they take their socks off. That's important for some reason, but they don't want to run around with wet socks. I mean, I get it. But now we got 2 barefoot children, and they try to escape in one hand. Exactly, yeah. I mean, God, if I see a barefoot kid, I'm like, ooh, boy, we better run. This one's mean. Mm-hmm. They won't even keep him in the house. And then one hand reaches up and slaps Erin, smack, as she was trying to remove it from Marty's wrist, which made me laugh out loud as I was reading the book. But it's not good. You shouldn't hit a kid, even if you're a ghoul underground. But I liked one of the hands just stopping, holding him, and then reaching up, giving a quick smack, and then holding him again. I just thought that was funny. Marty rolls free, stands up, and Erin's like, "All right, get those socks off. Let's get the hell out of here." And then I'm supposed to read, and I didn't have my page ready. I didn't have my page ready at all there. Let me see if I can get it.
Like you want to keep the socks on until they're grabbed, so you have another layer of clothes to remove. If they get like if he grabs if his foot gets grabbed now, what are you gonna do? Remove his foot skin? Like that's not gonna happen.
Exactly. And I was also thinking, like, throughout the rest of the book, it never really is important, but it talks about them like running and hobbling and like stepping on gravels and running. I mean, at least you get a little extra padding with if you keep the socks on. You know? I mean, I don't know if maybe they slow you down. Maybe you're faster barefoot. I don't know, man, but I'm just saying, I'd have kept them on. Here we go. The hands grabbed wildly for us. Dozens of hands stretching up from the dirt. Hundreds of hands reaching up for us from the tall graveyard grass. Come down with us, the voice moaned. Come down. A dozen other soft voices called from beneath the ground. Marty and I froze. The soft, sad voices seemed to hypnotize me. My legs suddenly felt as if they were made of stone. Come down. And then I saw a green head pop up from the dirt, and then another head, another bald green heads with empty eye sockets and open, toothless mouths. I saw shoulders, then arms, more heads poking up, bright green bodies pulling up from beneath the ground. Marty, I choked out, they're coming up after us. Bum, bum, bum. It's fucking metal, dude.
They're gonna die.
I thought they were going to die. About right here, I was like, where's this book even going? Like at this point, when we're 16 chapters in, it's roughly like right around half or further than half in the book, typically. And usually there's like, I can visualize a way out of a situation. Or we've been introduced to another character or something. But like this just, at this point in the book, it's just like he's going through, just a series of scary gags he wants to put them in without like an end in sight. And I was getting like, all right, this is fun. But the less time he has to wrap up a book, usually we get ghost dogs shoving kids into a hole in a shed. So I was starting to worry about here. I'm like, I'm having fun, but I'm worried that he's having too much fun to finish the fucking story.
He doesn't have an ending planned. It's funny because in this particular book, as we'll find out, you could have done fucking anything for the first 20 chapters. And it wouldn't have impacted the ending of the book, which makes me think all of a sudden, like, does that mean this isn't good? But let's get there. Let's fucking get there. All right.
Let's get there.
17. Big chapter. So Erin and Marty, they get out of the cemetery. They've got the green zombos. They're coming after them. They're coming out of the graves. Because now it's not just hands. It's like head and shoulders, I'm guessing. I mean, it just says heads, but that's like just heads and hands. Like, I feel like we're getting some more things out of there. They get out of there. They run through the tall grass, terrified, squeeze back out through the gate onto Shock Street. Street's empty. No workers, no tourists, nothing going on. Erin and Marty realize something's fucking wrong. Marty's like, I agree with you, Erin. I think you're right. And they both decide, let's go find Erin's dad or the tram. And so they see a brick wall past like an empty lot, and they're just like, maybe we'll see the studio road from there. And as they cross over the muddy lot, the ground gives way below them. They fall into a sinkhole. Mud is rising over their legs. This is not great. It's a good thing they're barefoot right now, because if they're stuck in mud and stuff, now at least they're not getting like all their shoes getting weighed down with mud as they're trying to get out of there. So that's good. Erin's sinking deeper. She's unable to grab on anything. Marty's struggling too. But he's also sinking fast. Erin's struggling, kicking. I'm assuming this is like quicksand where the more you move, the more you're going down. So stop it, Erin. But it's too late because the mud's already continuing to pull her down and she's going to drown in mud. Can you imagine drowning in mud? I bet it takes so much longer than drowning in water, where you're just slowly choking to death as your lungs are filling up with mud. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, this reminded me of the way our sweet, sweet boy Artax went, and that's very sad. That was I don't know. I don't have like a top 5 sad horse deaths, but if I did,
honestly, it reminded me more of the time that we nearly lost Caleb to a very similar situation when he jumped from a wall into a mud puddle.
The MagFest.
You were trying to pull him out by his.
He couldn't have been wearing wider
pants. You were trying to pull
pants.
him out by his reins, and he was struggling the whole time as Caleb does because he's so fucking stubborn. And he nearly died that day as you were pulling him out of that mud puddle. But
he did. Yes. Beloved Caleb from Tales of the Lesser Medium. Check it out, folks. All right. Well, Erin is nearly submerged in the mud when some strong hands grab her and pull her to safety. Now, this is where I'm reading this, and I'm like, oh, finally, we get some more characters that are here to help these poor kids. My God. So they're lifted up out of the mud. Makes this... makes the sound and everything. Marty's also rescued. And they're both standing covered in mud, probably worried about those shoes. Or no, they're not wearing shoes, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. They've already taken the shoes off. I would have... thank God, that really stressed me out. So no shoes covered in mud, folks. I think that's like a trigger for some people. But they are covered in mud. And then Erin turns to see her rescuer, not really expecting anyone, not knowing who to expect, but it's a female werewolf. A werewolfess, if you will, with glowing red eyes, sharp claws, and a toothy grin. By God, it's Wolf Girl. Oh, they recognize her. And then Marty, he was saved by her companion, Wolf Boy. He's also a werewolf. He wears silver. And wow, Erin's like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Silver?
Assuming they're actors.
No.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, does it?
Who the fuck wrote this book?
But he does.
I can't believe I missed that. Oh, yeah.
The Ghost Rider.
Yeah, right.
Don't get mad, it was the Ghost Rider. It was the Wolf Rider. Erin, she's like, well, thank you, assuming they're actors. Could you help us, because we're trying to get the tram. We're actually trying to get back to the main building. The tram broke down. We could use some help. My dad's waiting back at the main platform. If you could get us there, that'd be great. That'd be good help. Thank you all for saving us from the mud. And the werewolves, this is how werewolves respond. The werewolves go, "Arr, arr, arr, arr," and they start threatening her. And she's like, but no, I just, we just need to get back to my dad. Rawr, rawr, rawr. And
I think they're
Marty's
stupid.
like, they're just actors. Come on, guys, please stop the scares. Obviously, we're covered in mud. I've shit a little bit, if you can't tell that. I'm obviously very scared now. I was pretending not to be for the longest time, but I'm here to tell you I'm very scared. Please stop. And they're like, rawr, rawr, rawr. So finally, Erin loses her shit. Please, I begged, can you help us get back to the tram, or can you take us to the main building? My dad is waiting for me there. Wolf Girl's red eyes flashed. She growled again. We know you're just actors, Marty blurted out, but we don't want to be scared anymore. We've had enough scares for today, okay? The two werewolves growled again. A long white string of saliva drooled over Wolf Boy's black lips. Something inside me snapped. I just totally lost it. Stop it! I screamed. Just stop it! Marty is right! We don't want to be scared now! So stop the werewolf bullshit and help us! Fuck! The werewolves growled again. Wolf Girl snapped her jaws. A long pink tongue slid out, and she licked her jagged teeth hungrily. That's enough! I shrieked. Stop the act! Stop it! Stop it! I was so angry, so furious. I reached up with both hands. I grabbed the fur on the sides of Wolf Girl's mask, and I tugged. I tugged the mask with all my strength. Tugged and tugged and tugged with both hands as hard as I could. And I felt real fur and real warm skin. That was not a mask.
I love the idea that this werewolf is just like hanging out while this girl is trying to rip her face off and just like, what are you doing? Like, and just letting her get up in there. And you feel like a werewolf would be a little annoyed by this, but apparently it's just like. Also, I know they're stupid kids, but like, surely they'd have to realize that everyone in the park would be aware of them and wherever they are. If they have 2 children testing a theme park, everyone knows their location. Like, if this was actually happening in the real world, everyone would be aware of what's going on a day that they're testing it. With all the actors in their costume, like full costume and everything, like this would have been like a big deal for these 2 children. So they shouldn't have to be like talking to these werewolves and being like, you know who we are. These werewolves obviously would know where they are because there's only 2 children in the whole park and they have to scare them. So they have to know where they are. Like all the actors know exactly what's going to happen at every time because there's only 2 people and it's one ride. So like these werewolves should know who they are. So anyway.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's why my biggest question is going to be in the last chapter. It's going to be for Erin's dad. But Erin, she realizes at the top of chapter 19 that these are not, in fact, actors, but actual real wolves. Werewolves. But the werewolves could be actors. Just because they're werewolves doesn't preclude them being actors. So shut the fuck up, Erin. That could be their job. This is their day job. While they're werewolves, they're like, I work for a theme park. Rah! Anyway, she tells Marty, he's like, by the way, this is real werewolf fur. And the werewolves are just like, rah, we're werewolves. And their eyes are all glowy and there's drool coming out of them. And she's just like, we need to get onto this brick wall to get out of here. And he struggles, but that tubby little bastard manages to get up there. Erin tries, but she's fucking slipping and scraping, and Marty's trying to pull her up. She's still struggling. Werewolves leaping and jumping at them while Erin's trying to fight her way up to the top. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, it's all about the wall. You know, I remember when I was in high school, there was these kids, they broke in to the school and they tried to burn it down over the summer.
Postman was not a good enough target for them, I guess.
No, these were about the same level of hijinks, though. But these two, they broke in over the summer and they would go in and like destroy things in the classrooms, and it just kind of was escalating until they were going to like. They had planned to eventually burn it down, but when they were there that night, you know, they had their gas can and they had everything, and when they're running around the back, they get spotlighted by a cop, and then they just take off running, and one of them had like a suitcase of quarters that they had gotten out of the vending machine, and they were like, well, that's too fucking heavy, and they threw that up in the air, and it hit the ground and exploded, and the football practice field had quarters on it all season. You'd be just getting down to 3-point stands and be like, oh shit, I just made 75 cents. But anyway, they run around the grocery store on the other side of the high school, and it was dark, and they commenced to climbing a fence to get over the top, and they both rip their clothes, and they get over top and land on the other side and look to see that the wall ended like 4 feet beside them. And I think about that a lot, and I really thought about it here. It was like, maybe the wall ends a little further down. Maybe you scout out. Yeah. Right? Anyway.
I'm assuming these gentlemen were caught.
What was that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, they got expelled, and then when they came back, they ended up graduating a year early, and one of them was the president of Radford University. Fun fact, Erin, she narrowly escapes the werewolf snapping jaws and climbs to the top of the wall, and the creatures continue leaping and swatting, and their claws and teeth scraping the bricks, and one nicked her ankle a little bit. Ow! But they're clinging to the wall, terrified. They're unsure what to do next. And Erin, she spots Marty's plastic stun gun.
But she put Marty's in her waistband of her jeans like a fucking psycho loser who wants to blow their balls off, I guess.
Yeah. Well, she grabs it, and the stun gun, that is, and she's like, well, maybe this will help. And he's like, what are you doing? That's my gun or whatever. Or no, wait. Marty's like, what do you do? What's that going to do? It's just a toy. It's not going to do anything. It's like, Marty, are you not willing to just fucking try something right now, brother?
Yeah, come on, Marty.
But anyway, she turns, she John Wicks it, she fires it repeatedly. I imagine she's got the gangster slant, the elbow up, just pap, 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 at the attacking werewolves. we don't know what happens. Bum, bum, bum.
She fires that gun, and it's doing what it did earlier when Karen got zapped. Yellow light. Shoo, 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 shoo. But werewolves, dumbass, aren't affected by stun guns. It's only fucking like silver and shit. So, Erin, you don't know how werewolves work. One of the werewolves claws her leg, which means she's cursed now, but also makes her drop the gun, and she falls off the wall. And Marty jumps down to help her because she falls on the other side. So she doesn't fall on the side with the wolves on it. She falls on the other side, which makes sense. If she got smacked, she goes, ah. So Marty jumps down, but now werewolves are on top of the wall, getting ready to pounce down. But things don't look good. Don't look good for Marty and Erin, the Marin team. The Mark Marin, Marty Erin. Anyway. Just as things are at their most hopeless, a tram appears, headlights glowing like eyes in the dark. I turned to Marty. Did he see it too? He did. Without saying a word, we both began running to the road. The tram was rolling fast. Somehow we had to climb on it. We had to. Behind us, I heard the werewolves howl. I heard a hard thump, then another as they dropped off the wall. The twin yellow headlights of the tram swept over us. The werewolves snarled and howled angrily as they chased after us. A few feet ahead of me, Marty was hurtling forward, his head down, his legs pumping furiously. The tram bumped closer, closer. The howling werewolves were inches behind us. I could almost feel their hot breath on the back of my neck. A few more seconds, and Marty and I would make our jump. I watched the tram speed around a curve, the yellow headlights washing over the dark road. I kept my eyes on the front car, took a deep breath, prepared to jump. And then fucking Marty fell. I saw his hands shoot out, saw his mouth open wide in surprise, in horror. He stumbled over his own bare feet and dropped to the ground, landing hard on his stomach. I couldn't stop in time. I ran right into him, stumbled over him, fell heavily on top of him, and watched the tram speed past us. Dum, bomb, rum!
Oof. Martimer. My God. Well, they escape the werewolves by leaping onto the very last tram car. And the werewolves, they chase them. They chase them a little bit. And they're like, oh shit. Oh shit. But then the werewolves are like, fuck this. And they stop. You know how werewolves always give up? They sure did. Fucking pussies. And then they're like, oh, nice, dude. That was so close. I thought for sure we were about to be eaten by a werewolf. But the celebration is pretty short-lived because they turn, and as the tram is speeding up, they see that something's wrong there because the tram suddenly full of passengers. What? Where the fuck these people come from? Erin's dad specifically told them that they were the only ones on the tour. Who are these people? What's going on? Marty murmured. Am I reading that? Yep. What's going on? Marty murmured. Your dad said we were the only ones on the tour. Like I said. I didn't lie. And now the tram is... Oh... Marty never finished his sentence. His mouth fell open in a gasp. His eyes bulged wide open. I gasped, too. The other passengers on the tram all turned around at the same time, and I saw their grinning jaws, their dark, empty eye sockets, the gray bones of their skulls. Skeletons. The other passengers were all grinning skeletons, their jaws opened in dry laughter. Cruel laughter that sounded like the wind screeching through bare trees. Bones rattled and clattered as they raised their yellowed skeletal hands to point at us. Their skulls bobbed and bounced as the tram carried us faster, faster through the darkness. Marty and I slumped low in the seat, trembling, staring at the grinning skulls, the pointing fingers. Who were they? How did they get on this tram? Where were they taking us? Before I I don't think my question is, how did they get on this tram?
Like, just the logistics of getting so many skeletons onto one tram. Like, what? I don't know what aspect of that question she wants answered. Like, how did they hire so many skeletons? How did they find so many skeletons who needed public transportation to one location to another? How did they get them all in one location? How did they pay? Like, I don't understand what she's confused about, and that's even more delicious. But Skeletons are delighted. They're happy that there's some living people in the tram with them, and they're just giggling as they're speeding through the dark.
I really like that part of the book, though. That was awesome. Like, I thought the gags were kind of over. After the werewolves, I'm like, now we're getting to, like, I mean, we got some book left, but, like, surely that's going to be the last, like, real
This
spooky
is about
gag.
the time at, like, one day at Horrorland where they were, like, the monsters had popped up and were just like, here's the explanation. Like, this is around that time where we would have been getting the explanation for the monsters. Sure. And that's a game show.
Instead, we get fucking...
Ghost skeletons.
A tram car full of skeletons, dude? I thought that was awesome.
And even worse, Erin realizes they're not even going the right direction. It's going someplace else. So, Erin doesn't know what the fuck they're going to do. They're moving way too fast to jump off safely. And then they see a castle up ahead with these giant towers and there's spotlights and all kinds of shit. And she's like, that doesn't look like a good place. But even if it did look like a good place, it looks like we're just going to drive right into the side of it because that's where the road ends. And the tram is not slowing down. The skeletons are getting really excited the way that only the already dead can be about a deadly collision. Because otherwise they'd be worried. But they're not, because they're already dead. So they're just happy. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. Well, they narrowly escaped the ghost tram and its skeleton passengers. Thank God. That's over with. Off to safety. Nope, the castle wall's solid. Despite the tram passing through it. How the fuck did that happen? They never really explain this either. They're just like, wow. That went through the wall. Anyway, not sure.
It's just a hard light projection.
Yeah, sure. They follow a road, trying to get anywhere but where they are. And lo and behold, now this shit like this creeps me out too. They realize that they've gone in a circle. They end right back up at Shock Street. Ugh, that sucks. They see the cemetery, and then while they're at the cemetery, this chapter actually kind of loses me a little bit, but like they reach the cemetery again. Gray mist starts to rise from the graves. We've all seen a graveyard before. Gray mist always kind of hanging out there at the old graveyard, and then silent, and then little ghostly puffs, and they float up. And almost didn't write about this because I thought he was doing that thing where he does set dressing, where he's like, it was. The wind screamed through the bony trees and the wispy wills and all this shit. But I was like, yeah. But then they float and grow. All right, these little misty things float and grow. And then they turn into terrifying little faces, old angry, sneering faces. And they swirl all around Erin and Marty. And the mist traps them in and starts spinning super fast. And they're kind of in this like hurricane of ghostly fog. Bum. Okay?
Oh, action. Oh, wait, no. It wouldn't be action. Sorry. I did it stupid. Well, that's a wrap. He doesn't actually say that, but Russ Denver might as well have said that because Russ Denver is a movie director and he just comes out of the fog and he's just like, great job, everybody. And Erin and Marty are like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, oh no, is this, did this become a movie? Is the fake out that it's actually all just a motion picture? Is that what the explanation is? But Russ is, Russ Denver.
That's what I thought.
Mr. Denver, Russ Denver, Russ from Denver? No, I'm Russ Denver. So anyway, Russ Denver, he's just like, hey, this is all part of the film shoot. We got some special effects. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to be part of the advertisement for Shocker at Shock Street, the new theme park.
When you said boom, 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 I'm conditioned. Almost started my chapter.
Oh.
Like boom, boom, boom. I was like, all right. And then I was like, wait a minute, you're still talking. What the fuck?
And then Russ Denver, he wants to play the drum. So he's like, dun, dun, dun. And like...
Well, and then Erin, wait, what? Did you get me again?
So that's dun 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 isn't drums either. That's like more of a what is that? Oh, that's an organ. Bum,
like a synthesizer.
Bum. Yeah, that's it. Erin and Marty are just like, okay, what the fuck is what? Erin's still suspicious, which is funny because she's like the daughter of the guy who makes shit like this. You think she'd be the most, but maybe she knows that. She knows even better than Marty. Like, this is not how a theme park should run. And Marty's just like, whatever. Erin's suspicious. She's kind of pissed off too at the same time because she's been scared and attacked and all this shit. She wants to see her dad. Russ Denver is like, all right, your dad, he's over at Shockrow's House of Shocks. Go over there. You'll meet your dad. He's like in there, through there, whatever. Marty and or Erin are like, but in the movie, Shockrow's House of Shocks shocks you with 20,000 volts of electricity when you walk through the front door. And Russ Denver is just like, guys, what the fuck is... It's a theme park. It's a goddamn theme park. It won't kill you, dum-dums. And I'm Russ Denver. Russ. He's excited. He runs ahead, happy to escape. Erin turns to apologize because she's been losing her shit at the hired help. Russ Denver, movie director. He's not from Denver. He's just Russ Denver. And then she realizes that he's a goddamn robot because he's got a goddamn cord coming out of his back, which makes him seem like he's a lower quality robot than the ones they've already seen because he needs to be plugged in the whole fucking time. And also, why have a robot director? That's the most confusing thing. How is this... Why is he part of this? Is he supposed to be a fake out and then you get killed? I don't get it. Erin's just like, Marty, Russ Denver's a robot. Don't. But it's too late. Marty's run through the entrance of the house. I imagine that you just see a big bright glow of electric shocks and the scream that's brutally cut off in the middle. And then bum, bum, bum.
Here we go. Erin races after Marty. Don't enter the Shockrow House of Shocks, dude. You'll fucking get shocked. It's called Shock. You've seen the movies. And she dives and she tries to tackle him, but misses. I hate a missed tackle, dude. When I'm watching football and somebody missed, they don't tackle like they used to. Oh, they really don't. You got to wrap up. Anyway, keep your head up. Anyway, just as Marty crosses the threshold, he gets in there, touchdown Marty, then a blinding flash of light, some electricity crackles, the house, all that, and Marty collapses because the house shocked him probably. He's unmoving, he's face down on the floor, steam coming up out of him, smells like a burnt, like a overheated CD player, and then Erin ignores the danger. She's like, fuck this. I gotta save Marty. He's my friend. And she rushes inside, regardless of whether or not she gets shocked to help him. She's screaming, Marty, Jesus fucking Christ, Marty, what did you do? And despite all this, Marty doesn't respond. We got a dead kid here. Chapter 26, we got a dead kid. Then a chilling realization. Erin suddenly just has a feeling, I'm not alone in the house. And a dark shadow looms over her. Who else is in here? Bum, bum, bum.
I spun around with a gasp. Was it Shockrow? Some other scary creature? A tall figure leaned over me. I squinted into the darkness, struggling to see his face. Dad! I cried as he came into focus. Dad! Oh, I'm so glad to see you! Erin, what are you doing here? He asked in a low voice. It's Marty, I stammered. You've got to help him, Dad. He's been shocked and he... Dad leaned closer. Behind his eyeglasses, his brown eyes were cold. His face set in a troubled frown. Do something, Dad, I pleaded. Marty's hurt. He isn't moving. He won't open his eyes. The studio tour was so awful, Dad. Something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong. He didn't reply. He leaned closer. And as his face came into the soft light, I saw that he wasn't my father. Who are you? I shrieked. You're not my dad. Why aren't you helping me? Why aren't you helping Marty? Do something, please. Where's my dad? Where is he? Who are you? Help me. Somebody help me. Help me, Dad. Marty. Bum, bum, bum.
Yep. Bum, bum, bum. We're going into the last chapter, all right? This is the This is the frickin' home stretch. Mr. Wright stood Mr. Wright stood staring down at Erin and Marty. He shook his head unhappily. He shut his eyes and let out a long sigh. Jared Curtis, one of the studio engineers, came running into the House of Shocks. Mr. Wright, what happened to your 2 kid robots? He demanded. Mr. Wright sighed again. Programming problems, he muttered. He pointed to the Erin robot, frozen in place on her knees beside the Marty robot. I had to shut the girl off. Her memory chip must be bad. The Erin robot was supposed to think of me as her father, but just now she didn't recognize me. And what about the Marty robot? Jared asked. It's totally down, Mr. Wright replied. I think the electrical system shorted out. What a shame. Bending to roll the Marty robot over, he pulled up the T-shirt and fiddled with some dials in the back. Hey, Mr. Wright, it was a great idea to make robot kids to test the park. I think we can fix them. Jared opened up a panel on Marty's back and squinted at the red and green wires. All the other creatures and monsters and robots worked perfectly. Not a single bug. Pun intended. I should have known there was a problem yesterday, Mr. Wright said. We were in my office. The Erin robot asked me about her mother. I built her. She doesn't have a mother. Mr. Wright tossed up his hands. Oh, well, no problem. We'll reprogram these 2, put in new chips. They'll be good as new in no time. Then we'll try them out once again on the Shocker Street Studio Tour before we open the park to real kids. He took the Marty robot from Jared and slung it over his shoulder. Then he picked up the Erin robot. He tossed it over his other shoulder. Then, humming to himself, he carried them to the engineering building. Bum, bum, ba da bum, bum. Bum, bum. And that's it.
How did you feel when you finished and the book just ended like that?
I don't know. I didn't feel like it was too abrupt in any way. I thought that was a fun way to close it out. Oh, that's a cute little bug thing. If that is what it is, in fact.
Yeah, I loved it. But it's fucking haunting, right? The 2 children technically did not survive this Goosebumps book. Also, how was that a successful test of the park? Like, I'd love to see how the park is supposed to... I guess that's how it's supposed to... Are you supposed to leave the tram and get eaten by the things? Maybe the engineer's just saying that everything... The machines all respond the way they're supposed to. Maybe there's an issue with the tram, you know?
Yeah, I think there's certainly a lot of... I won't say plot holes, I'll say spackleable opportunities within this one, but the momentum stays so strong that I never got hung up on any detail. Like, there was nothing that kept the book from ending any other way. There was no adult to rush to for help. The people that tried to help them weren't real. So it was just kind of a nightmare all the way through. So I kind of liked the ending being what it was. But it's a pretty dark story. All said, even with or without them being robots, I thought it was fun.
Yeah. No, I liked the reveal ends up making it's strangely interesting in a whole other direction than you were anticipating. You know, because like originally it's just like, what the fuck's going on in this park potentially? But really the whole story is about these kids who don't know that they're actually robots. And they're literally just built to test a park.
Yeah, I did think that was wild, too. Like, wouldn't you want to test the park on people that are supposed to, like, experience it?
Yeah, like, yourself? And how dangerous is this park that you're like, robot children are definitely the way to go in this situation? Like, maybe it's like those extreme haunted houses that have become super popular in the last 10, 15 years where it's like, you know, they have, like, naked women running around and shit like that, and the actors will touch you and you have to sign 16 different waivers throughout to be in there. Like, maybe it's that kind of theme park where, like, yeah, they're gonna throw worms at you, like big thick wet worms, and you're just gonna have to be like, this gross.
Yeah, I am with you though. I'm kind of wondering now, like, and even while I was reading it, I was like, how is this ride supposed to go? Like, at what point did we go off script?
And did we? I guess not.
Did we?
They ended up where there's... Well, no, because they did end up... The dad was like, the fuck are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the engineer saying like the creatures worked isn't them saying that the ride is perfect yet. So
yeah, I guess so. And it makes me wonder too, if they're just robots, what's with all the? I mean, I don't know. Now we're getting to a point where we're just kind of, it's getting mushy. But like, why even have the conversation ahead of time to be like, hey, kids, you're going to go test out a park? Like, do the robots need that primer?
I got
why? And why would the robot even?
I'm Maurice Backlund.
You don't have to Okay, here he goes.
Maybe they're testing because they've obviously been programmed to believe they're children and believe that they're fans of the franchise. Maybe that's part of the testing. Like they had them sit down for the new movie. Like they're getting all kinds of like, okay, they're responding appropriately to the material. They enjoy the movies. They enjoy this acting thing. The actor with the giant wolf claws and stuff. Like, this is their proof of concept before they send them out into the field. They're fans of this horror series, so they'd be good test subjects for the thing. You know, like, they have to... If you're just sending 2 robots in there who don't enjoy the subject matter, they're also not... Because they're looking for reactions. They're not crash test dummies. They also seem to be testing to see, like, you know, emotional response or whatever. Like... If it's too scary, like he wants their opinions on it, not just like the data of like, oh shit, the werewolves tore their legs off. Gotta start from, because otherwise, why not just use dummies? But I feel like they want the emotional response component. Is it scary? Do they react appropriately as fans of the franchise to the autograph session? You know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think they're emotionally crash test dummies, like emotional crash test dummies. They're
right.
A marketing thing as much as they're a safety thing, I think. Because otherwise, you're right. Why not just fucking send a couple of dolls that just, you know, will walk around? Like, you don't need a super tough or complicated robot for that. I think it's about everything. They want to know everything they can from this. And I guess if they're dropping live genetically modified grave worms onto people and sending out live werewolves out, you want to make sure that you got a hit product before you open the doors.
Yeah, I guess. Do you think that the werewolves and the other actors were robots too? Because why not just make everybody a robot if they're going to not be human?
Well, obviously,
and they can be real enough.
Some of them require like power supplies. And God, I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm just explaining everything. So, Erin and Marty are one-shot models. They're specifically designed robots that have one use, and they're kind of like, you know, he built them himself probably. Like, these are his handmade, they're going to be fancier and better because, like, he only needs to do it twice, you know, for each of these little kid robots. But the other things, the other creatures, need to be repaired on a regular basis and maintained on a regular basis and have to be easily maintained and repaired and cheaply because they're part of a theme park that's ongoing and they can't be down. So you want as few robots as you want, potentially. But those robots might be very limited in terms of, like, they can stumble out, say a couple phrases, and then stumble back into the bushes. But I think the kids are probably like some high-tech little fuckers.
Yeah, they seem pretty high-tech. I mean, if even the director is a robot, what the hell, you know?
Also, there could be shit that they don't have set up yet. You know, like, maybe they'd actually have some real shit going on besides just mist ghosts. You know, they might have actual actors. Like, maybe this is such a dry run, they don't have the paid performers on set. It's all just the animatronics are being tested right now. And they don't even have, like, the live performers there yet.
Dude, you're just spackling.
I hate that my brain does this. It's literally just how my brain works.
Hey, man. That's why when I said, who wants to do a Goosebumps podcast, I pointed directly at you and wouldn't let anybody else answer. I was like, I need my spackler in there, man.
It's funny because I got that nickname for an entirely different reason. And yes, it is sexual.
Yep, and that's why you can't coach T-ball.
Mm-hmm.
But, No, I really did enjoy this book. Plot holes be damned. I thought it was fun. It harkened back to Horrorland for me, just a big carnival of spooky horror, relentless, lots of good twists. I didn't even like the kids. I thought Marty was annoying. Erin was fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like the story was just fun enough. So I'm going to give this one 5 out of 7 big old fucking sloppy wet worms.
I think... I'll give it like 3.5 tram cars out of 6. I think.
Oh, wow. 3.5 out of 6. Okay.
Yeah, like maybe a little under you, because I feel like 4 out of 6 is close to your 5 out of 7. Like, it's not that far. I don't know. Like, I think I'll need to sit on it a little bit. Oh, but that ending.
Yeah.
The first time I got to the end, it was like, that's it? No, I'll bump it up to a solid 4 out of 6 tram cars. But this one might be the one that changes the most from now till the end of the season. But
you know, it's always interesting once you reflect back on them. You're like, whoa, you know, this one stuck with me, this one didn't. It's always weird to see how that works at the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, in the moment, I thought this one was a pretty fun ride, all said.
Yeah, so. No, I would agree with that. I do get a little hung up on the like, really? The theme park went well? But I can maybe hand wave that away enough.
There was something about this one that we always harken on that poor fucking B book. I don't know whether it was because the covers kind of remind me of each other in some weird way, or just the name of it kind of, you know, maybe it's involved insects. I thought that the legacy of this one, before I even read it, was that it was bad. And so I went into it expecting it to be one of those that just could not be helped. And as I was reading it, I was like, when is it going to get bad, dude? I'm having fucking blast. This is fun.
Yeah, I don't know the reputation of this one. I kind of assume it was at least fairly popular since the big bad made an appearance in the movie.
That's true.
But, I mean, I don't know how they fucking chose those creatures. Because a lot of it seemed from later stuff. Shocker on Shock Streets and earlier... Not really. I guess the Mantis was maybe the... Well, no, Slappy was the oldest monster we saw in there, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's the Abominable Snowman from Pasadena and the gnomes. The lawn gnomes were there. Oh, I bet it would be fun to see those little fuckers in live action.
Yeah, I need to watch them again and again and again.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some trivia. According to the Goosebumps Holiday Collector's Caps book, whatever that is, I'd like to have it. It sounds neat.
I'm assuming that's actually for Pogs. That's probably like the Holiday Collector's Pogs. Because I did have some Goosebumps Pogs. The Slammer had Curly the skeleton on it. The one that they were trying to use as the mascot for Goosebumps before Slappy took off. But yeah. And for the kids that don't know about Pogs, I'm not going to explain it to you. Fuck off.
Yeah. Stein got the idea for this book, according to that book, he got the idea for this book when he was at Universal Studios and wondered what would happen if the robotic attractions came to life. You know, honestly, I kind of envy R.L. Stein's position where he can just go anywhere and all he has to do is try to think of things that would scare children about it. And I imagine that's just, you know, because he's still releasing books. That's got to be constantly on his mind. He's mowing the yard. He's like, anything spooky about this? He like walks through Kohl's looking for shirts. Anything spooky about these shirts in here? But anyway, I thought that was cool. And this is apparently one of the few Goosebumps books that changes perspective styles during the story. The story is told in a first-person perspective for the majority, being narrated by Erin until she, you know, dies. In that final chapter, with Erin now quote-unquote shut down, the story changes to that third-person perspective. So that is interesting. And you can feel that. You get so used to a Goosebumper being written in the first-person perspective. When it got to that last chapter, I was like, oh, God, is this a eulogy? What the fuck?
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
She lived, she died, she tested a theme park. Actually, no, the dad kills her, technically, because Marty dies. He has an electrical shock, which I guess just happened accidentally. I mean, he got so excited running through the door. And poor fucking Marty doesn't have a family.
Well, I was thinking about that too. I guess they programmed them. Well, they programmed them
to be friends,
and then made them be fans of that. So that's why they sent them into the theater. And it's interesting because they did. I guess looking back at that first chapter, they didn't really even understand how to behave in a theater because they got told to hush and sit down when they got excited.
Well, because they thought it was. You read a lot. They were almost acting like it was real. Like, as robots, they're just like, is this real? Oh, shit. Oh, new spackle. What if, because the robots are so new, they're just taken in by what's just a standard theme park? Like, if you and I went there, we'd be like, oh, yeah, this is pretty cool. But obviously, everything's fake. But these robots are like, 2 days old, and they're just like, holy shit, these are real werewolves. And meanwhile, it's this guy who's like, hey, kids. Oh,
that's true.
I'm a scary werewolf.
Oh, I love that idea. Like, they have no reference for what's real or not real because they've just lived in a synthetic environment.
And remember, she got scared by the wolf crab guy in the bad costume earlier. She's like, oh, I should have noticed that he was fake. But maybe they're just super, like, naive and gullible. And they're just like, oh, my God, this park's amazing. These real worms. And the worms were just, like, silly string or some shit. Like, not silly
just
string.
Wet baguettes.
Yeah. The spiders were just the plastic spiders that you get from, like, fucking party supply stores. It's in my nose. Yeah, that's now it's a comedy.
Now it's a comedy. Fun book. It's a fun book. All right. Well, that's going to do it. You can email us. Please do it. We got goosebumspodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. We do. We say that every time, but we say it because we mean it. So please do that. You can also text the show. I don't think we ever say that, but there's a link. You can text us anything. You can just text.
Like, whose phone number's on that one? I don't want people texting me.
No, it goes to
like
Buzzsprout.
When people message me on, Discord. Why would I want people to message me through Buzzsprout? Ugh.
No, it just messages the show. You don't have to look at it until you're ready.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. You don't even got to worry about it. Yeah.
You could also find the show on Blue Sky at our Blue Sky account, which is Say Cheese and Pod. That's a good way to reach out to us. Just send us a little comment, quick shout out. Let us know we're wrong about our opinion about a goosebump. You can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/polykill media. Polykill. I hate it that you don't have that written out. Why do you do this to me?
Oh yeah, I should do that. I'll do that right now. But yeah, you can hop over there, and if you want a little more than what you get, you can get it over there. We do release these episodes a little early over there, and all kinds of fun, engaging things can take place. If you're willing to toss a little extra our way, we'd appreciate it. Now, Dylan, I know you and I are both pretty excited for this. This is a sequel we've both been waiting for, so please do the honors.
I'm shitting myself with excitement right now. Steve Boss. I also like that we're getting a deep dive on the bullies. Like, now we've got his last name, and like we're gonna find out about his likes, his interests. Steve Boswell will never forget Carly Beth's Halloween mask. It was so gross, so terrifying. But this year, Steve wants to have the scariest costume on the block. So he gets a mask from the same store where Carly Beth got hers. He looks like a creepy old man with stringy hair, a wrinkled face, and spiders crawling out of the ears. Steve's definitely got the scariest mask around. Too bad he's starting to feel so old, and so tired, and so evil.